Human being first. And it's interesting because as Jill was writing this up on the board, I was like, oh no, don't make it too big because there's not people. However, quite rightly, as it's one of our first, or the first of our 12 core values, human being first, everything else comes after. We don't need much room around the outside anyway. But I was thinking about it when Jill asked me yesterday, human being first, and what's the first thing that came to mind for me was actually to place the words backwards. First, being human. So, and just knowing how my mind works sometimes, just while I was busying myself, I just played with this because I just said to Erkan, his known be known just now, the session he just did was really quite powerful for me. And I don't think I give my personal success, as in my personal life, the success I've had in my personal life of late, as much credit. I place more on success in business or what I do in this world. And I'm sure, as I say that, if we could all just think of one of the most important people in our lives and thinking about how Barry just lost his friend, the people we love most in the world, if you could just think of that one person, what would your life be like without them? It doesn't even bear thinking about or going there. People matter. And it breaks my heart when I see people hurt each other. It's a place it just freaks me out. So first, being the energy that we are in human form. This is just the earth suit that carries the energy. I play a game with my kids, before I ask you for your thoughts, I play a game with my kids sometimes when they're 18 and 16 now, but when they've been squabbling with their friends, we play a game, and I said, if you could invite everybody you know to a party and imagine them naked, I don't mean nude naked, or just all dressed in a white sheet, stripped of hair colour, makeup, possessions, jobs, everything. How would you be with these people at your party? How would you see them? Forget whether somebody's wearing a flashy designer jacket or they've pulled up in the best car. And it just, for us, it just helps us think about how do we be with those in our lives and how do we treat others? Because if you strip everything back, first being human, what does that mean to you? What are some of the thoughts, words and feelings that are coming up for you?
Uniqueness.
Pardon?
Uniqueness.
Uniqueness.
Everybody's different. Kindness.
Yeah.
Honesty.
Compassion.
Yeah.
Empathy.
Yourself. It's interesting, thank you. Was that Angela who said that? Yeah. So I've been writing it like this lately. In my post today I did, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something about losing our identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be yourself also.
Lose your... And was it Erkan that said earlier identity is...
Past-based persona.
Past-based persona, yeah.
Connecting.
Love.
And as Jill drew this squiggly line round it, I was going to get my big red and put a heart round it. It's interesting, isn't it? It's just how these things come to you when you're just playing it out.
Understanding.
Yes.
Fun.
Forgiveness.
Acceptance.
Naturally.
still human then?
Of course, in my opinion, thank you for asking that, this is the invisible bit. The energy that's turning the world, growing the grass and beating our hearts. This is the infinite bit. This is the finite bit. Yeah, this is the earth suit that carries around this energy. So my understanding of life and why we're here is a being that wants to experience and express itself, and it can only do it through that is the finite being, the human bit. The bit that's, we think, real. This is the real bit, in my opinion. But our five senses tell us that this is the real bit. Because we can touch this body, I can touch your body, I can see you, I can taste you, smell you, I know. You know. Yeah, there's only a couple of people we might taste, but do you understand what I'm saying? Our five senses will tell me that you are real. Yeah? Our senses tell us that this part is real. But it's the feeling part of us.
Can I ask, can I have an example of one of the bad things about being human?
Experience pain.
I've got a Carol one. Unfuckwithable.
Unfuckwithable.
Sorry, I love that.
Is that bad?
That's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good
So is it?
bad word.
Don't mess with me.
I hate these portmanteaus, don't you?
I know, but it's a good thing. It's not bad.
What's the bad thing about being human? Jealousy, I think, but said, are they bad or are they just all on the spectrum?
It's
But
emotional
it's-
then, isn't it? It's a whole range of emotions.
Yeah.
Greed and lust and anger and pride.
Yeah, pain.
It's below the line. In simple terms, it's the below the line and above the
Hmm.
line. It's the whole...
I've
Okay,
got a question.
yeah.
People in the room, your experience of being part of this community, and guests, people in the room, how do you experience the space of the collaboration meeting in terms of how we relate to each other as human beings first? How is that being practiced?
Say that again, Terry?
Unjudgmental.
Yeah, unjudgmental, safe. I think all of these things, because we have an understanding of this being important, we're drawn to this space for our own reasons and how it might have been offered to us, or the person maybe who introduced us to the space, maybe we trust them, maybe it come at the right time. Only we know why we said yes, please.
We're like-minded and we're like-hearted people.
Yeah.
With those two key things, there is an attraction amongst us, I believe.
I think Glenn's question was quite profound, actually, because what are one of the bad things about human is the judgment and the criticism that we experience every single day of our lives, and we are also guilty of. I think BeCollaboration, in fairness to Erkan's question, is because I believe that we can show up here knowing that this is what we'll experience, so we can get to experience what this feels like for us, to be in our uniqueness, to feel accepted, to be understood, to be transparent in all our glory, so we know what that feels like before we go and to then take that back out into the outside world.
I'd say that the worst thing about human is dominance. And everyone's got it to a certain degree. Everyone tries to dominate in a certain way.
Absolutely, and that just is interesting you should say that, because anyone seen the Celestine prophecy? That is, I think, the third or fourth insight is the reason we try and gain power and energy by being dominant over somebody and taking it from them, rather than it being a mutual exchange, that connection. So you're right, yeah, we affirm our dominance to, that's a bad thing about being human.
Sorry, so the thing about human being first is that we're emotional. So, the thing that we do here is we acknowledge and accept our emotions in this room,
Yeah.
which is not normal.
No.
And to come back to Jerry's point about good and bad, I'm looking at a list of emotions that was on Bobby Brown's website, and that's like 20 or 21. Only a third of them are positive, the other 2/3 negative. So they're all there when we're being emotional.
Yes.
But being emotional is part of being human.
Well, that's exactly it, and it's just because it's negative, the outside world will say, or we're programmed to believe that it's bad and it's not good for us to feel angry, or it's not good for us to feel sad, or it's not. So therefore, we deny ourselves the experience of that. Whereas when we can come to this space where it's okay to be sad or frustrated or whatever it might be, because of empathy or because of, the kindness or the honesty or compassion of others, we're able to be.
But what I get from this value is that this is about connecting with the humanity in another. Not with the jealousy or any of the negative emotions, but the absolute essence of who we are.
Yeah.
And if there's something I get out of this community is that there's an attempt to see beyond the smallness in us and see the greatness in us.
Yes. Which is the essence of the game I play with the kids, is to see people beyond their identity, if you like, how they put themselves, stripped back, absolutely. And it's that, have you all done that exercise where you stand in front of somebody and eyeball them for, sometimes even 20 odd minutes? And the human, where you actually see the outline of somebody to begin with, and I can see Jill sat in a grey jumper, eyeball to eyeball, you actually dissolve. Have we all done that exercise where you've eyeballed somebody? It would be, it's intimacy at its greatest level, really. I mean, that's what I would call truly intimate, not sex or anything like that. The intimacy is where you can be with another person and see them beyond. You see the essence of who they are, which is this bit. You see into their soul. That's where, for me, unconditional love comes from. It's the one thing we haven't said. We've said love here, but unconditional, regardless of what I see, taste, see, touch, smell. I want to be with you in this moment.
Expanding on the emotional, one of the big things that suddenly was that aha light bulb all came together was when I was on a coaching call with Sanjay, and we were talking about emotions, and he likened it to the rainbow. You can't see white light unless you're prepared or able to see all the colours of the rainbow. And actually, we want to be above the line in the emotions, but we can't be there unless we're prepared and able to experience all the emotions in the spectrum.
Hence, the concept of human prism principle, the sunlight shining through us we're able to be our authentic self. Yeah.
The only problem with emotions is we have no control over them. They just occur to us, don't they?
Yeah.
And then we make them mean something.
Yeah.
So they can be either good or bad. So actually dominance can be extremely positive.
Yeah.
Or dominance can be extremely negative. It depends on the context and what you do with it. And it's the same for most emotions. Most emotions they just occur to us and we make them mean loads.
Because of how they make, because of the label.
We have choices to how we interpret them.
Well, because of part of our past programming.
The emotion that's important. It's what we do with it that's important.
The emotion is something.
We experience. If we have been encouraged not to experience our emotions, which a lot of us have, then that's when you start to be less human. You're actually connected to the world.
And the problem comes when we try to either resist it, so we don't like being sad, angry, etc., or we try and hold on to it. We like being happy and we want to hold on to it is as toxic. I've seen it in people, and once it's been highlighted, I can't unsee it anymore. It's as toxic, if not more toxic, to hold on to the positive emotions than it is to resist the negative.
Very vulnerable space, holding on to the joy. Yeah. Whereas, then what?
Toxic.
Yeah.
More than vulnerable. Vulnerable suggest to me that I'm exposed, I might get, you know, something, but it's actually, it builds up and builds up and builds up. It's like a volcano. It's as toxic as everything building up.
Toxic because there's a backlog of emotions that are trying to pass through us. We are not our feelings.
One thing.
Exactly, yeah. Whereas when we fully accept that an emotion, a feeling, an emotion manifests itself in the body as a feeling, and it's gone like a conveyor belt, just like thoughts. And when we can see that we are literally the vessel that is allowing life to flow through us, however we experience that as feelings, our job is just to recognise that we are the being, the energy that's just witnessing all of that. Equally, what's going on for you, I can only feel that from my perspective, from my past, from my experience, rather than being with you on a soul level, for want of a better expression. And that's where letting go of judgment and criticism and just allowing myself to experience you in each moment and allowing it to pass.
Yeah, which is a function of awareness, which isn't anything. Yeah?
No.
Maybe it's self-awareness or awareness. Yeah.
Which is what Erkan experienced with, Alan experienced with Linda. You showed up today, as did Linda. She placed no meaning. She was being human with you. And compassion is massive. Nothing needed to be done, nothing needed to be fixed. It was experiencing that space together, releasing it and moving on. Perfect time, perfect place, perfect person.
Yeah, so I saw in the Be With exercise that you just mentioned, you stand and be with somebody, and I saw this happen recently. One person said, there's a whole line of people doing it, 2 lines of people just staring at each other for about 15 minutes. One person said to the other at the end of it, have you got pain in your chest? And they did.
And that's exactly it. When you are with somebody, you feel them because we are all one.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all one. We all matter. Nobody is any more important than anybody else. And it's being with that person. So first, be human.